I think there's this calm, this sense of I've got this confidence that I know what to do and where to turn to look for answers. And I think that was the biggest surprise because I thought it was just another to do, to eat, not to drink, things like that.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lisa Chance. I'm a fasting coach here at TFM. Today, we welcome one of our community members, Audrey Fong. Hi, Audrey. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Hi, Coach Lisa. Hi, everyone.
Yes, we're here to find out about your transformation. Let's start off with a basic question here. What prompted you to start fasting? How did you find Dr. Fung and Megan Ramos?
Well, I found out about fasting maybe 10 years ago, and it was when Dr. Jason Fung started coming out, and I was in Malaysia. I was not in the US yet. And I did fasting. So I knew about Megan Ramos, I knew about Jason Fung, I knew about the obesity code and all that. I knew it was all in my head. And I tried fasting, and I was good at fasting. I could fast 3 days, 5 days, not a problem. But I was not seeing the results that I wanted. And so I was just kind of skirting around. I thought I knew fasting, but I did not know the full picture of how it should work for me. And that's why I came to the community.
You were specifically concerned about heart health, correct?
Yes, because what happened is as the years passed, I was due to family history or whatever, I was already on blood pressure medication. And then I have an autoimmune condition that I'm on a low dosage for something else. And then what happened was because of my cholesterol, my doctor was pushing me to go on statin, which I pushed back for some years and I just gave in because it was just too much pressure to take from a professional that's supposed to be taking care of my health. But at the back of my mind, I knew something wasn't right. Like I did not feel at ease with it. And that's why I started looking in earnest. Are statins the answer to my good heart health? Because my dad died of a heart attack. My brother died of a heart attack. So it's something that is really, really a fear in my heart. It's a condition that I worry about.
Yeah, and valid concern,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
A familiar history of something like that. Yeah. So you found Dr. Fung, you found Megan Ramos.
Mm-hmm.
So how long have you been fasting? What type of fasting protocol have you been following?
So I've been fasting for many years. And you know what was bad? Eventually, I went down to OMAD, 1 meal a day, which was not good.
Right.
And I started putting back on my weight and nothing shifted. It was like I eat anything and I just ballooned. And I knew something was wrong, but I just didn't know what was wrong. I thought I was fasting, so I should be okay. But it was the other part of the equation, which I learned from the community. It's the eating part,
Mhm.
the nourishment part that I was totally not doing right.
Right. So you changed the way you eat.
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming you always do TRE, no snacking?
Yes. So the good thing is I've grown up, we old school, 3 square meals a day. And I'm not a breakfast person, so it became 2 square meals a day. I'm not a snacker. I'm not a sugar person as well. That's good. But I love my other stuff that is like sugar, like white rice. And it's part of my culture. It's a huge part of my culture. Like all our dishes center around rice. And through TFM, I learned that I cannot moderate on rice. Like I'll become a monster when it comes to rice. Other things, I'm fine. You can have a slice of bread. I'm cool. I don't like pasta, not a big deal. But rice, oh my goodness, I can eat a pot if I don't stop myself.
Have you tried that as a resistant starch or not?
No, I do not even want to go there.
You don't even want to go there. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Well, today, actually, 6 months I've been on TFM. I started with the annual membership. And after listening, I'm like, this is great. Things are moving for me. And I love the community so much. So, as an early birthday treat to for myself, I joined the lifetime membership. I upgraded within, like, I think 3 weeks. Yeah.
What a lovely gift to give to yourself.
Yes, and because I learned so much, and it wasn't so much the fasting. So for me, I think fasting was not. It's really funny because I joined the fasting method, but I joined to learn to cut back on my fast.
Interesting.
Yes,
Yeah. You had to fix your relationship with food.
yes,
That's where, right.
yes.
So many of us become very good at fasting and we suck at doing the food right.
Yep.
So Can you tell us a bit what specific cardiac markers improved for you with fasting?
Okay, so what happened was my LDL has been going up. And the doctor, my PCP, the moment she saw that, she was like, she started me on statin, she doubled it the next appointment and then wanted to double again. But in the meantime, I had a break at my work for like 3 months. And I said, I really got to do something about this. Because she's telling me, well, maybe if you lose the weight, maybe if you get healthier, we'll see how things go. So you know what? I joined TFM. I lost about 25 pounds. I'm 4'10". 25 pounds on a 4'10" person is a lot. And I joined without wanting to lose weight. So when I went to see her the last appointment, she can see that I lost weight. And she took a look at my blood work and she went, oh my goodness, I need to double your statin. I'm like, nope, not going to happen. So I told her, are you telling me that because I cut off alcohol, I cut out sweeteners, I cut off white carbs, I cut off seed oils, I'm eating only whole foods, I'm eating stuff that does not have barcode. I'm healthier now, but you want to double my statin? Something is not right. Either you're looking at the wrong thing or getting healthier is not the key to better health. And I gave her the book and all the printouts, and all that. But she was like, I do not agree with everything that you have sent me. Then finally she said, you know what, it's time for you to see a cardiologist. And I said, I totally agree. And so she, of course, referred me to someone, but I already, because I followed Dr. Nadir Ali as well when I was following Dr. Jason and everybody else.
Yes.
So I decided I'll just go to Dr. Nadir Ali's office, which is in Houston, 2.5 hours for me. Couldn't get an appointment to see him, of course. So I saw his nurse practitioner. And the first thing he took a look at my blood work, he said, you stop your statins immediately.
How wonderful.
Not double.
Yeah,
Not double. Immediately.
that's great.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
So, because everything else I was good. My triglycerides was good, my HDL was good, my ratios were good. It was only LDL. What I found out was statin does not fix LDLs.
No, it doesn't. But you have improved your cardiac numbers, right? You've improved your triglycerides and your HDL, which is really
And my
much more,
A1C,
and your A1C. Do you mind sharing what your A1C went down to, Audrey?
my A1C wasn't too high. It wasn't like they were worried about it, but it was, I suspect it was because I wasn't statin, because I never had problem with my A1C or my blood sugar. But because I wasn't statin, and I started noticing it was creeping up.
Yes.
And I thought that's weird because I'm not eating more sugar. I'm not, kind of thing. But later I found out, oh well, because it was statins. I think it was up to about what's the maximum of a normal? The high end of the normal.
5.6. Yeah.
So I think it was about 5.6, 5.7. And she said, oh, we got to watch that number. But now it's dropped down to like 5.1, 5.2. So I'm back to normal just by
Good.
dropping the weight and changing the way I eat.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people, if you follow Dr. Timothy Noakes, who wrote the foreword to the obesity code by Dr. Fung, he really explains all of this quite well. And that if you have 100 people and they're all on a statin, you're going to prevent a heart attack in 1.5 of them. However, you're going to give 7 of them type 2 diabetes. Your hemoglobin A1C is going to go up on a statin.
Yep.
And that happens every once in a while. We get somebody in there, they just keep climbing. And it's like, you need to talk to your doctor about coming off the statin. Now, I'm not against statin. I'm a cardiac nurse. There are some people who need a statin, but the doctor, the cardiologist needs to look at the whole picture, everything, not just at one lab, and certainly not the LDL. That's not the one to look at. And a lot of people don't realize that some of these statins don't do everything that they claim they're going to do. So, yeah, it really requires a professional and knows your history, your familiar history. And
Well, I guess what also gave me the peace of mind was because the moment I guess it's a protocol, you start seeing a cardiologist. So they did a nuclear stress test and a echocardiogram because they said we need to establish baseline. You come to see us, this is the minimum we need to do for you. And of course it's not cheap. I'm not a very good medical coverage, but it's okay. I want to get this done. So I know I'm not, because the first question I asked the nurse practitioner, am I going to drop dead? He laughed. He's like, This is before we did the stress test and all that. He was like, "You're gonna live to old age and you're gonna have all your brain cells intact because LDL is an indication of brain cells, right?" So anyway, I did a stress test. I did echocardiogram. No damage, no blockage, no enlargement, everything good. So now what we're working on is still a work in process, right? So what happened is my blood pressure meds from three that I'm taking, we dropped one. The second one is at half dose. We are monitoring for 2 months, and then I'm going to have an appointment. And if my blood pressure is still okay, we're going to drop the second one. And then we're just going to hold on for one, which is what I wanted. I want to work towards something and not just take the same amount of meds till I die.
I know it was Dr. Ben Bickman that said, I listened to a podcast of one of his, and I've said this before on this TFM Q&A. If you have a great triglyceride to HDL ratio, less than 2, and you have a high LDL, you're going to live forever and not get Alzheimer's. And I loved that Bickman said that. Dr. Bickman said that. So yes, this is the case.
Yeah.
And I'm glad your blood pressure is coming down. That's a wonderful indication too. What were you most surprised by the process, all of this?
Wow, I think it's the freedom. So when I joined the TFM, I really thought that it's going to involve a lot of work, like to-do lists, get this done, buy this, eat this, drink this, don't do this. And that's coming from a very all or nothing mindset that I had, like you blew your diet one weekend, you're like, oh, what the heck? It's not for me. I'll start the Monday. I'll start after Christmas. I'll start, there's always something else. But I think it was just listening to how people do it and maintaining things and how they turn their health around was really eye-opening because I'm a foodie. My husband and I are very active socially. So I can't even imagine like how do we do this? But that's my social persona. But inside I'm an introvert. I do not like to share. I'm like, why? Guys, like just, why do you have to share everything? But I think joining the community taught me that this is a journey and you can't do it alone. You got to learn from other people. And so like for me, it was the mindset was a big thing, not the perfectionist mindset. And like one little derailment is not going to put you off my goals because to get to where I was in terms of health and weight or whatever, it took years. It was decades of bad habits. It was decades of stress. It was decades of just having a very wrong mindset and being very judgmental on my own self and being very harsh. So I think it was a sense of freedom. Like now, I've lost the weight that I did not intend to lose. I know what works for my body. I have not gone on the CGM thing yet. I'm thinking about it. It's still a work in process. I still have my autoimmune condition. I have psoriasis, and I'm thinking about elimination diet for that. But it's one step at a time. It's not like I'm trying to do everything at once and I want to see things overnight. I think there's this calm, this sense of I've got this confidence that I know what to do and where to turn to look for answers. And I think that was the biggest surprise because I thought it was just another to do, to eat, not to drink, things like that.
One of the most asked questions I get is, what kind of food should I eat? What's my food? What's my food? And I tell them that's the hard part. That's what you have to figure out. And they're like, well, what lab test can I take that lets me know my food? And I'm like, the best thing you can do is an elimination diet. Every course I've taken says that. These are some tests that you can do, but the best thing you can do is do an elimination diet. And there's so many out there. We just did one for book club, the paleo cure, and there's the adrenal transformation. There's so many that are out there besides a Whole30 and everything. But I did want to ask you about, you are the famous Audrey that was just in the newsletter this last week. So that's like the last week of September for those of you. This will be played in like 6 weeks from now. But for those of you who are looking back, it's in the newsletter that was this last week of September. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that Wagon quote, Audrey?
Yeah, well, it was during one of Coach Amy's session, and I just had this imagery, this vision of TFM meant to me. It was like, we always talk about, oh, I fell off the wagon, I fell off the wagon, and all that. And then I used to joke, I fell off the wagon so many times I couldn't even find the wagon anymore. I don't even know where the wagon is, right? And so what I learned from TFM is like when you fall off the proverbial wagon, just keep a hand on the wagon and walk alongside, you know? So what does that mean? That means joining the live groups, even though you're not really, like, for example, I joined the reset live groups, even though I'm not doing the 5 day reset, because something has happened after losing 25 pounds. That 5 day fast that used to come easily to me is not as easy anymore. So I think my body's trying to tell me something. But I still keep my hand on the wagon as like, okay, what's going on? What's new? What's the new reset? What's the new broth? What's the new soups that's coming in and all that? And to know that even if I were to like, oh, something happened and I put back on some weight, I know exactly what to do. I'm still in the community. I might not say much, and I can't miss the community because now I have to listen in when I'm at work and I cannot say. And a lot of times I can't even type in a comment because I'm busy at work. So that's what I mean by keeping your hand away. And when you're ready, when I'm ready, I can jump back in. And during one of the sessions, one lady did say, and we will be on the wagon pulling you in because that's what the community is, right? We're all trying to get on the wagon, stay on the wagon. Some of us drop off. We pull everybody back in because we want to finish it together and finish strong and be successful in this. That's how I got that imagery.
And that's so neat because I immediately think of the Oregon Trail and how we moved across America with the Oregon Trail and how many people walked that trail.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think of one of my favorite quotes from Rumi, which is, we're all just walking each other home. We really are. I mean, I'm a coach and I get so much help and so much support from the community members.
I'll share with you something else, another vision that I had. I think it was during, I don't remember which, I attended so many live groups. That 3 months I was on break from work, I attended, I think, every single live groups that you had. I think quite a few of the ladies said, how do you get past the hunger? Because the hunger is so real. It's not easy when you're trying to fast. And I said, well, I look at it this way. It's like when you give birth, you know you're going to have labor pains. I don't care what pain meds they give you, you will feel the pain, right? But you also know it will end. And you know that labor pains is a wave. It comes and it drops off. It comes and drops. And then it comes faster, but it drops off. I said, that's how hunger is. So I tell myself, yeah, you're here. Hello. And then, oh, there you go. I'm fine. Whether you have a salted drink or you just drink some water and then do something, take a walk or something, and it disappears. So I said, look at it like labor pains. It comes and goes, it comes and goes. And not like it comes and you're dead. You know what I mean? It's not the end of the world.
Really? Have you found that your energy levels have improved with this?
I find that I sleep. I know a lot of women say they don't sleep very well, but because I suspect because I cut back on my fasting and I focus on my nourishment, I sleep very well. My watch tells me my sleep score is really high. I've always been energetic. I've not been one of those lethargic people. So yeah, I don't have a problem with. But what I found was because of all the changes that's happened to me, so I have different girlfriends now. Instead of like, oh, you're fasting again. Oh, you're not eating this. How come? Now they're like, okay, tell us what you're doing. Tell us what you're doing. And two of them I know they started fasting on their own. I did not coach them or anything. They started doing their own research and all that. And I think they follow Fast Like a Girl, that book. And they say, I can't believe the energy that they have. I say, yeah. So they say, maybe that's why I've always fasted for a long time. Maybe that's why I never had an energy problem. Because, yeah, I'm just like a little dynamo, little bunny rabbit.
Wonderful. What would you say are mistakes that you would advise people that others could avoid?
Being a perfectionist, I think that is,
Yes.
that is key because you can be successful in fasting, you can be successful in eating, but if you don't have the right mindset, one little thing can just derail you. I think to be gentle and kind to our own self and to each other is so key. Don't judge others and don't judge yourself as well. I think a lot of times we judge ourselves even more harshly than we judge others, and
Much more.
it's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, cut yourself some slack.
One of the things that Coach Terry taught me, and I have to keep reminding myself of it, but I reiterate it to all my clients, is compassionate curiosity and being able to look at what you're doing with compassionate curiosity, which includes no judgment. That's the hard part, the no judgment.
Yep.
you know.
You were saying what other things surprised me?
Mhm.
So remember I said I joined not to lose weight. I joined wanted to get healthier, right? I was shocked by I haven't even fixed my eating yet, but I was shocked by dropping some key things and how my body just responded. I think the first thing I cut off was alcohol. Not that I have a problem. It's just that my husband and I, we enjoy drinks, a glass of wine, without dinner, when we go out and stuff like that. I decided to cut that off. And then I started cutting off sweeteners, and I was a loyal Coke Zero fan. I think it was so hard to give up. I cut off all the white carbs. And then I realized that I love coffee, but I love my coffee with all the other stuff added to it. And I've learned to drink coffee black now. And it has shifted my body. I cannot believe what a big difference it made. And the funny thing is, there are some things, like, for example, coffee with the cream or whatever add to it. And that ties into my like, I'll have this, maybe like I have a bite of a chocolate chip cookie because it goes really well together. And so when I cut off Coke Zero, you know what kicked my habit? My habit for chips and pretzels. Because when you have chips and pretzels with water, ew, it's not nice.
There you go.
There we
It's
go.
yeah, it's like a
It's two for
gateway
the price of
drug,
one.
right?
Yes,
And you get
yes,
rid of that gateway drug, then you're not having all the other things that follow.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's insightful. Yes. It doesn't sound good to have
It
those.
doesn't taste good. It's funny. You take water with some of these things, it does not taste good.
You mentioned that you and your husband are quite social, even though you're an introvert, right? So, how do you handle social situations, eating out, or special occasions? Do you do any kind of like some people do like a fat fast before they go so that they tamp down their appetite? Or do you do anything like that? Or how do you navigate?
Like a pro, I might add, like a pro right now. First thing I do is I always check if it's somewhere new, I always go online and look at the menu because nowadays everything is online, right? And then I look through and I see what I can eat. And if it's something that I can just say, can you not have this? Can I push this to the side or something like that? What I've learned is a lot of things, if I cannot eat the mains, I can order the appetizers. And I can have like two appetizers instead of one mains. It has worked for me. And I learned that my body does not respond well to raw vegetables. I know it's good. Everybody wants salad. Besides the fact that I feel that you overpay for salads outside. What I learned is like, if I just do my homework, I go there and order. So remember I told you I cut off alcohol? So I go there, and if I'm in the mood for something sparkly, I'll just order like a topo chico or just plain water with, oh, can I have lime with that or a lemon with that? And then I'll just eat my whatever. And you know what? Nobody remembers what I ate. We remember the laughs and the stories we tell and all that, and that's fine. And I would like to report that I have happily been able to eat in a Korean, Indian, Chinese, Thai restaurant without rice. So think about
Wow.
that. Think about that.
Without the food of your people,
Yep,
you're
my
surviving,
DNA
you're
food.
thriving. It's wonderful, Audrey. So, Audrey, you mentioned all these different cultural foods, and I understand that you do quite a bit of international travel. Can you expand on that, how you navigate all that?
Yeah, our family are really big we're literally foodies and we travel a lot. But I do not have the fear that I'm going to trip up over this because I think I know how to make choices. If I can eat at many of these restaurants and places where rice is the staple and rice is my weakness, so I know that going forward that I'll be able to make the right choice. For example, when I first joined TFM and I started having progress, I can see things was moving. I was due for us to go on a 7-day cruise to
Oh,
Mexico.
how nice.
And I started panicking because cruise, right?
Right.
We are talking
Food,
about
food, food.
24/7 food, food, food. So I happened to mention in one of those community groups, like, I don't know even know how it came up, but Mary Rennick's from Canada and she cruises like I don't know how many times a year. And she told me just stick to TRE and just make the right choices, you'll be fine. So that's what I did. I stuck to TRE and I ate maybe two, definitely not 3 meals a day, maybe just 2 meals a day. And even though it has buffet and what we chose the sit down dinners, and even at buffet, I just avoided the desserts and everything and just made the right choices. There's always good proteins, there's always vegetables, there's always low sugar fruits that you can choose. And we didn't have soda. I refused to pay for the soda, I refused to pay for the alcohol. and all that. And one of the tips, I was laughing because we go for this comedy show at night and all that. And you know what they do is they try and serve you drinks and everything. So I tell my husband, don't bring cash out. If you don't bring cash out to tip the server, you won't order anything because you don't want to be that cheap passenger who orders stuff and don't tip the server. So we stayed away. We stayed away from alcohol as well.
Yeah. I took a cruise. I've taken several cruises while doing this too. And absolutely sticking to TRE. That's the holding pattern. As Coach Nadia says,
Yep.
it's the Beyonce of the show. It's the main event. If you get TRE, no snacking down, that's a holding pattern that will carry you through. Yes, absolutely.
So I did put on weight. I put on 7 ounces on a 7 day cruise.
1 ounce a day. That's great.
Not 1 pound a day, but 1 ounce a day.
That's a win.
But you know, I know. And I did, people like, oh, you didn't try the desserts. I did. I had it at the end of a meal. And I just took 1 spoon, like a teaspoon of my husband's dessert. And that was good enough for me. I just wanted to taste it. And that was it.
Right.
Yep, not a problem.
First bite is always the best, right?
Yes,
The others
yes.
aren't worth it. Yeah. So
They
yes.
stay around forever.
Yes, and they stay
Yeah.
around for longer. The remaining bites stay around. Definitely. Okay.
Like a bad rash.
Really. So, what are your goals moving forward, Audrey?
So yeah, what I really want to do, I mean, I'm nothing against taking prescription medication, right? And I know that to control my autoimmune, for now, I'm on the lowest dose of methotrexate, and that's fine. I can accept that. That's fine. I'm still on 2 blood pressure medication, 1.5 dose. I want to get that slowly, work towards removing that as well. And as far as my autoimmune, my inflammation, I would seriously thinking of a elimination diet. And I've been hearing a lot of good things about the carnivore diet. I know you are, that is not you. And I'm thinking about it. It's just because I find it hard to give up vegetables. I don't think I will miss fruits, but I love my leafy greens. And just the thought. But then somebody did say, you don't have to do this for your whole life.
That's right.
It can just be, yep, it can just be 2 months, 3 months, you know. And the funny thing is, my nurse practitioner actually suggested it. Without me saying anything, I said, yeah, about my psoriasis. He's like, have you ever thought about the carnivore diet? I was so surprised that he brought it up. So, yeah, that will be my next step to work towards. Yeah.
And I actually have a couple of clients they treat the carnivore diet as something to put in their toolbox and they pull it out when they need it. So if they need kind of a reset, they go back to the carnivore diet, or they have a flare up of some type, they go back and do the carnivore diet for a week or two, that they don't have to commit to doing it for the rest of their life. They don't have to commit to doing it for 6 months. They can pull it out of their toolbox, use it, and then go back to what they regularly do.
Well, just like fat fasting,
Mhm.
right? I think fat fasting is, to me, the way I was doing it was very close to a carnivore diet, albeit it was a very restrictive carnivore diet, but it worked. It worked to curb the appetite and everything else. Yep.
Bring the blood sugar down a lot. Yeah.
Yes, yes. But I must say, Coach Lisa, that one session, after joining TFM, upgrading it to a lifetime membership, I was like, I didn't have budget to like hire a coach. But that one session I had with you was life changing
Oh,
because you taught me to be not afraid of the numbers and you taught me where to go and search for all the resources. And I think the main thing which I learned from you and the community is really, really have to advocate for myself.
yes.
Like if my gut feeling tell me something is not right, fight for it, not just blindly fight, but have the confidence that I know what I'm talking about and I know how my body feels. So I think I have to thank you because that one session, if people say, oh, I can't afford that, how many packages? Like, hey, one session sometimes is all we need. Because I told you fasting is not my issue. It was always the other thing. And it was my cardiac health that I was most concerned with.
You came in prepared too. And I recommend people do that. Come in with a list of questions because otherwise I will go off on any direction. But if you come in with a prepared list of questions, which is what you should do when you go to your doctor too,
Yep.
so that you stick on the agenda.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pleasure working with. I'm so glad that I was part of your journey. It was an honor to be part of your journey. So,
And I sent you all my blood work,
yes.
my blood pressure reading. I did the same thing with the new cardiologist, and I think that helped because they have a picture of who I am before I even come in.
Yes.
And they really, the fact that I send them things, they know what my concerns are, you know.
Well, I also enjoy having you in the Zoom rooms. I know you don't always speak up, but every once in a while you do. And when you do, I say, oh, that's Audrey. I'm going to pay attention. As a matter of fact, Daisy, who edits these podcasts, you're like famous. She's like, Audrey, the Wagon Audrey, Wagon quote Audrey. I'm like, yeah, that's the one. I guess so. I love it when one of the members says something and it becomes something that we use, like
Olgas.
yeah, the rolling Olgas. I remember, yes.
I remember typing and asking, what the heck is an Olga?
It's a rolling Olga. And one of my favorite is Mark Tom's changing fasting and eating days to healing and rebuilding days. And that has just become part of our lexicon. So very important. So I love this analogy of keep your hand on the wagon.
Yep. Well, now that you mention it, one thing I really learned, because I was so focused on fasting and I was a perfectionist, I had 2 fasting hour trackers, I won't mention names, the apps that you have. And I would be like, if I said 120 hours, I would not break at 119, I would not break at 118. And so I'll be having lunch at 4 p.m. just because to hit that time. And I was miserable.
Right.
I found I was such a slave. In TFM, I learned just go by meals. If you just go by meals, it makes sense. And oh my goodness, I have not even turned on the app. I have not even tapped on the app in like months since I joined TFM.
It's a good tool to get you started. But again, back when you were saying about perfectionism, I can't tell you how many people I have had come to me and say, especially women, I'm such a failure. Why? What happened? I was going to do a 42 and I only made it 41 and a half hours. And I'm just like blown away. It's like, we are too hard on ourselves. You should be cheering you made 41 and a half hours.
I'm Chinese, right? I can come back from a test with 98% and my mother would be like, what made you lose the 2 points?
You need to go back and fix that.
Yes, you did not work hard enough.
Right. And most people, especially people who are overweight, we have a tendency to do all or none thinking or black or white thinking. And we really need to learn to think in shades of gray. We're either on the wagon or off the wagon, like you said. Well, we need to be walking alongside the wagon sometimes. So that's a perfect analogy, Audrey. Thank you. Thank you for that. Good image. Thank you again for joining us today. We really appreciate you sharing your journey with us.
Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye, everyone. Happy healing or rebuilding day, whichever one you're doing.
Bye.